Hold on. Okay. Well, I have it recorded on YouTube, but it's all good. All right. So tonight we have take two. Your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist from Styx. Mr. Lawerence Gowan is in the house. Take two, just in case. That's what we do on YouTube Magic. I'm like Francis Ford Coppola. I edit, I make it look good, I make us look handsome. You look like a movie star. Absolutely. What's the secret?
Well, I've got, as you can see, I've got a lot of filters on right now.
But you look great. You look like
it's a new wrinkle filter. It adds wrinkles to your face to give you that more, distinguished look, I suppose. Also, I've got filters on the room as well. The room is completely disheveled, but the filter is making it look like I've made the bed.
Well, you got a great filter. I've been watching some of your interviews, and what's there not to be said? We'll go through your career, but you talk about the same stuff, but I want to get the dirt. I want to get dirty and gritty. And there's questions that we're not supposed to ask because it could be drama, but I'm going to start drama. I am Jewish. I'm a troublemaker. And we might know the same people. You're a Canadian superstar. A couple of people you might know. Brent Fitz, drummer?
Canadian I know that guy? Name. Yes, I do. I believe. Yes. Yeah, I do. I do know him. And I'm trying to remember who he drums for.
Slash.
Brent Fitz. Oh, well, yeah. They play in the band Took.
Took. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They are fantastic. I was trying to place them right away, but yeah, plays with Slash and also has this band Took, and they've actually played some shows with Styx, and they're a knockout.
They are a knockout. Then
they play. In that band, they just play they play covers of Canadian hits, so they're, and they do them really well. If not, sometimes they surpass the originals in their take on them. So yes, I am a Took fan.
You are a Took fan. It's good to know. Now I got to ask you about the drama. Doing these podcasts, you get a lot of people doing the intro really long. How do you sit there with poker face and deal with it?
Oh, yeah, I was calculating. I was reviewing my horoscope for the day while the intro was going on. And, it said there'll be a long introduction. Review your horoscope while it's going on. I'm just following instructions.
But you're Canadian. You're mellow. You're not a neurotic Jewish guy from New York that's going to get hostile with people.
I'm neurotic.
No,
I can be neurotic.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. So how's the tour going now with those guys? I had actually Mike Reno on the show. Lovely guy.
Oh, and, it's great having Loverboy on the tour. I love it, because I get to mention this in interviews. I was signed to Columbia Records in Canada. Well, worldwide, but in Canada is where they actually promoted the records in the 1980s. And Loverboy were kind of label mates, and they were signed, I believe, in 1981, and I was signed in 82, could be 80, 81, something like that. But same A&R man, guy named Jeff Burns, legendary A&R guy from the 1980s at Columbia Records at CBS. And so I love, whenever we get a chance to be around Loverboy and having a whole tour with them, this is a treat for me. And it was great last night. I mentioned we played in St. Louis last night. I come off stage before the encore, and there's Mike there holding his camera. And I went over and asked him did I hit a couple of notes out of tune. I thought I might have, and he was very gracious. Said no.
He's being a fan. He's taking pictures. Or do you think he wants the bloopers to put out there?
He'll get plenty of those.
He'll get plenty of those. You guys actually, I saw years ago, my friend, I went with my buddy. He's friends with Ricky Phillips of the band, Eric Singer.
Oh, of course, Eric. Yes.
Yeah. So Eric's one of my best friends. And
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I've met him on a couple of occasions. I didn't really get a chance to speak with him properly because Ricky was hogging him. And but it was nice to see him at a couple of shows. And yeah, he's excellent.
He's a great guy. I actually was in a band with him after he was in Kiss, and it was me, him, and Gilby Clarke of Guns N' Roses. We had a band together. And
no kidding.
Yeah. And that's when I met him. And then he was so annoying, but he actually taught me how to lock in. And I go, this is why Kiss got you rid of you. You're so annoying. But the banter with us, which I'm sure you guys and Styx have great banter. It made us best friends, and he's like a brother. But he took me to see you guys play And you know what? I think I was fanboying out. I could be mistaken because in front of us, I was trying to watch you guys. And I think Benny Mardones was sitting in front of me at the time. For you kids out there watching Into the Night, which was a great song. And I was staring at him and I kept going, Eric, it's Into the Night. And I was like nuts out of my head. But it was a great show.
Good, good. Yeah. We'd like to have that celebrity star-studded audience whenever we can.
Yeah. You know where it was? It was Universal Amphitheater, I think, which is not there anymore.
Universal Amphitheater in LA.
In LA, that's where it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a drag. That's not there anymore.
I don't think it is.
The Gibson Amphitheater. It was Universal Amphitheater. Then it became the Gibson Amphitheater. And yeah, so I'm sad to hear that that's not there anymore.
Yeah, it was a cool place. Now, you know what? We'll talk about your career before Styx, because you had pretty much a wild career. You know, you had hits in Canada. So you were
I did and I do.
Yeah. You know, no, really cool. But you did an album in which I want to talk to you about, if you don't mind me going there. You're on tour now. The Styx is there. Links will be in the description down below. If you don't have tickets, if it's sold out, Scalpers still exist. Go get tickets. Go see them. Right?
Go see the Scalpers.
Go see the Scalpers. But I got to ask you about.
I think you can meet the Scalpers online now. So there's no, you don't actually have to shake their hand, spend any more time with them than is necessary.
It's not the way it was back in our day, right? No,
you had to go, you meet the guy, talk to the guy, pretend you're interested in his story, try to, get the price down. He's trying to pull the price up, and then the next thing you know, and now you see him every single week, every time you go to a concert. And yeah, it's now you just online. It's nice and anonymous. You're not exchanging any bodily fluids.
It's like this show right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is safe interviewing.
This is safe. We're not breeding. Everybody's safety first. We're all safe. Yeah. I got to ask you, when you were recording back, and I believe it was your album Strange Animal, you recorded it at the former home of John Lennon, which was, is it pronounced, how's it pronounced? Tittenhurst Park? Is it?
Tittenhurst Park. It's actually pronounced as Tittenhurst Park in Ascot. Yes.
Wow. I got a fanboy with you out this, because I'm sure when you walked through those doors, when you walked there, you probably were fanboying now too. How could you not? Where Imagine was made.
Yeah, exactly. You know your history well. Yes. So the way that came about, I'm a Canadian, and I was, as I mentioned previously, I was signed to CBS, and I was making my second album, and my first album was actually, most of it was made in New York, actually at Howard Schwartz Studio and at 52nd Street, CBS 52nd Street Studio. But my second album, I was very fortunate to have. Our demos were sent to a fellow that had produced Split Ends. I love that record, True Colors of Split Ends. And the producer was a guy named Dave Tickle, and he was doing live sound for Peter Gabriel. So when I was seeing Gabriel in Toronto, I asked the guy I mentioned, Jeff Burns, can we get some tapes to David Tickle, which he did. And I saw them play, and I was just in my mind kind of fantasizing, these are just the right musicians to play these new demos that I had. And it's funny what your mind can project out into the universe and suddenly have it echo back at you. At least I like to believe that, or maybe it's just absolute coincidence and luck, who knows. But about 2 months later, it's like September of '83, I got a call, and it was from England, and it was this fellow, David Tickle. He had a car phone, which was unusual back then, especially for a young fellow like that. And he said, "Hello, my name's David Tickle. We're listening to your demos, and we like them very much. I'm in the car right now with, do you know Tony Levin and Jerry Marotta?" And I was like, okay, who the hell is this? I said, I do. And I said, yeah, okay. So whoever's winding me up, I said, could you put Jerry on the phone, please? And he goes, yeah, sure. Jerry wants to talk. So he goes, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, the songs sound good. Well, I thought Jerry Marotta was British. So when I hear the American accent, similar to your stuff, I thought, okay, so this isn't Jerry Marotta. And he goes, I like this song. And he started naming a couple of the tunes that were on the demo. And I thought, I haven't sent this demo out to anyone else. I mean, wonder if could this be real? And then suddenly I hear the voice of Tony Levin, with which I was familiar. I'd heard him in interviews, and I realized, I think this is real. And Dave goes, if you want, if you don't have a band, these guys would be into recording with you. And I said, sure, that would be fabulous. And then he said, but could you come to England to make the record? Well, that's another thing that was kind of on my list, was I really wanted to make the record in England. He said Ringo Starr had moved back home to England, and he was living in this place called Tittenhurst Park. And I knew that those words right away, because that was the house that John Lennon recorded Imagine. It's where he put the home studio in there, or he hired professionals to come and put a home studio in. And he recorded Imagine in that studio. And I really thought this can't be real. But then I thought, maybe it is real. And just a few months later, I flew to England, and on February the 7th, exactly 20 years to the day when the Beatles came to America, February the 7th, I walked into Tittenhurst Park, and Ringo Starr met us at the door, shook hands with us and said, so you're the Canadian. Well, good luck with your record. And I have been working on that impression ever since, and it's getting no better. Anyway, shook hands with Ringo, and we proceeded to make the album there over the next about 6 months. We could only use the studio for a maximum of about 8 hours a day, because he wanted the house quiet at night after 8 o'clock. But it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and to have a Beatle pop into the room occasionally and make various comments about what songs he liked and what he thought of this and how this was coming along was a phenomenal reassurance that things were going well. And that was the Strange Animal record. And when it came out in Canada, it went triple platinum. The first single was called "A Criminal Mind." It went gold in 3 weeks, which is really a ridiculously rapid pace. And we really felt, everyone. I was managed by the same people, the same guy that manages Rush, and we were entirely, maybe overconfident in that it was going to completely slay America. However, it never did achieve the American release the way that I won't go into the details there, but basically the way the music industry was back then, certain artists were relegated to parts of the planet, and that's how they could control the market. Yeah. You can pretty well figure that one out. And please hold all my calls. Hang on one second.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm just doing a Zoom interview. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, George. Yeah, hang on. Hold on. I'm in the middle of a Zoom interview, George. I'll call you right back. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, that was the president, or the ex-president, George W. Bush, had just asked him how things were on the tour, and I don't know how he got my hotel room. So anyway, sorry about that, Stefan.
That's okay. Go ahead. Go with this. I love this. I love the story. I'm getting into it.
I'm going sideways. I forgot my. I have a keyboard in my room, usually sitting right here, and I forgot the power supply in the hotel yesterday. Oh. So yeah, I feel like I'm incredibly embarrassed about it, and I really don't wish to discuss it any further. And I'm really a little upset that you brought it up. So back to making the album. Yeah, the record was a strong record. I know it was, because it did really well, and still play it to this day. And we wound up getting on tour in 1985 with Tears for Fears. Their management, they knew of the record from the success that it had in Canada, and with being managed by the same people as Rush and being on Columbia Records, we thought, well, we'll embarrass them into releasing the record in the States. So it reached top 20 in Pittsburgh and in Cleveland, and of course in Buffalo, because they get a lot of the airplay that came from Toronto across the lake, and they picked it up. And so it looked destined to kind of do extremely well. But as fate would have it, you can only be so lucky in life.
You could only be, but what's funny about that album, Strange Animal, now, years later, and even watching your interviews, I'm hearing a lot of podcasts that you're doing. They're all talking about Strange Animal. They're talking about the video you did, which is a great video, it's almost like it's like this hidden gem in the States, and that we're just finding out about it now.
I think it's Well, thank you very much for saying that, because that to me is the kind of the vindication of it, is that it's great that we think that we can dictate to the script in life, and that's not the way it works. You're handed the script, and you're going to have to make the best of it.
Yeah.
And you begin to accept that the older you get. And there are some lovely surprises. I would never have imagined, for example, that although that record came out in 1985, and I felt the sting of it being so successful in one area and not in another, particularly the one that really would make a difference globally. But there in 1999, I never would have imagined that I'd be sitting with Tommy Shaw and James Young, the guys in Styx, and sit down to play a song to see if, it's just going to work out with me joining your band. And before I even started, Tommy Shaw says to me, "No, don't play a Styx song. Just play A Criminal Mind."
Did he really?
He did. This is exactly how it went down. And so I played A Criminal Mind, which is, in broad daylight in front of, a few of his friends in the band, the manager and everything. It's, it's a pretty intense piece of music to play. But I threw myself into it. And by the time I finished it, he said, "Okay, we're going to make that a Styx song now." And so I'm happy to say, we've recorded it on a few live records over the years. And whenever we do dust it off and play it, it gets a great response. And to a number of people, they think of it as a Styx song. So I see that as a wonderful twist of fate, and how a song can somehow, bounce back or bounce around in all kinds of ways that we don't really fully understand. And it's probably something to do with the cosmic vibrations.
It's nowadays, generations, you guys, first of all, Styx, you think about the eras and the different times, the different everything, the life that we've been through, when Styx first came out to now, this crazy world we live in. And your tune, Criminal Mind, people probably do think it's a Styx song. They know nothing about yesterday. Nowadays, I bet you now, if you ask the common person on the street, they don't know who the 4 original Beatles are. It's sad to say, but this is the world we live in, Lawerence. Yeah. I got to ask you, so here you got Ringo walking around with his tea, and I like that song. It's in his pajamas. This is crazy. Yeah.
If you ever listen to that album, the first song on the record is called Cosmetics. It's a very, very Latin type piece with a great bass, a really cool bass line that kind of gets your body moving a little bit. And he would pop into the studio more often on that song than any other one. And one time he came in, he goes, "Every time this one comes on, we start dancing around in the kitchen." I wonder if he remembers any of this, because to me, it's locked into my mind. And for that very reason, I just said, when we went to sequence the record, I said, make sure that Cosmetics is the first song on the record. Because when we send him a copy of the record, if he should happen to put it on, I want him to hear that song first before he takes it off and goes, "I've heard the rest of it enough." But, or however he would react to it. But that's cool. Part of how the sequencing came together on the record. Yeah.
I mean, and when you think about when you're 84 recording the record there, not too long after 4 years after Lennon's death.
4 years after. And I would say that at that point in my life, years ticked on a little slower than they do now. As you get progressively older, they seem to fly by. But back then, I never quite talked about this, but one of the things that this might seem a little over dramatic or over melodramatic, but it's the truth. When I was making the first record in New York, it was 1982. And so that was only 2 years since John Lennon's body, we'll call it that, left the planet. And I would walk by the Dakota and over to where now is the Imagine Memorial there. Walk around that area and just kind of in a weird way, feel the spirit that he generated, in some way. You're projecting this, of course, and then go to the studio and record. And then 2 years later, I'm in his former home, where he made probably one of the most lasting pieces of the 20th century. Okay, let's face it, and will likely go on for possibly hundreds of years, maybe longer. And I just felt this kind of weird connection, as all fans do with music that you love.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was particular to myself, but trying to make, really endeavoring to make really good or great records if possible. You do connect to your heroes. You can't help it. I mean, you read Beatle interviews or Rolling Stones interviews, etc. They're all trying to somehow pull in the influences that they had. But more than the influences, it's the spirit of those influences they're trying to somehow project on, or to kind of channel on and find a new way of expressing that origin. So yeah, that's part of what I felt at that time, and it enriched my life.
Yeah. I mean, look where you're recording. You're recording in the room where Lennon was making his magic, and then you're doing your magic. It's pretty incredible. I believe in that stuff. And a person like Lennon, it's funny, we could lose family members, but when his death happened, you remember where you were, you remember exactly what you were doing, and it affected you more than maybe losing an uncle or something. It was like the wildest thing, because nowadays you got the internet, it's so exposed. There's a good and bad to it, but back then you'd stare at those records, Lawerence, and you'd absorb every picture, look for the clues on Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road, but you'd absorb the music, listen to the sounds, like the left and right, the way they panned it, and it was just a different world.
Everything. Well, this is it. You touch on many great points there, Stefan. The art form of the album and how it could draw you in to this theater of the mind, if you want to call it that was unique and different for everyone, and yet incredibly galvanizing. I mean, when you met someone else that was that devoted to it, you were immediately bonded, because you both had this interpretation of it that was very personal. You saw yourself in these songs somehow, and you felt that you were carried along in the vessel of these songs, and they really were, as JY will often say, like the soundtrack of your life. You didn't realize it at the time, but you later on you realized these are touchstones that mean so much to us. And the people that made that music, as human as they may be in our minds, they were superhuman. And so as you say, you have family members that leave. That's in the real world of daily connection. But the musical heroes that we may have, they pull at our when we lose them in body. I like to always make that distinction. They live somewhere else in our psyche, and they pull at it. They pull at it and say, I was beside you during this time and this time and this time, and I still am. In the form of a musical piece. That to me is the closest thing to magic that exists. So there you go.
There you go. Beautiful. I'm going to actually show everybody some pictures, because there's some great photos of you standing in front of the door, actually where the Hey Jude album cover with the Beatles, one of my favorite photographs.
The last photo they took together was there.
It was there.
From my understanding. Okay.
Yeah, there's two. I think you're in the same spots. The first one is the cover where they're all looking different ways. One of with the beards, the hats, and then the other one, McCartney sitting on the grass. And
Oh yeah, in front of the house. Yeah,
in front of the house.
The actual main house. So the door that you see that was on the Hey Jude album, that's a separate building from the house. Kind of like they called it when we were there, they called it the temple. But I think it was because the place was built in the 1800s, I believe.
Wow, it was, huh? The 1800s.
Could have even been 1700s. And I believe, I was trying to find out as much of the history of it as I could, but I believe the Cadbury family had it way back like 100 years before John Lennon and Ringo. And, I love talking about this. Where that doorway is, it was possibly an art gallery, a place to store their artwork and stuff like that 100 years ago. But it was where all of Ringo's memorabilia, like his outfits, and there were it's drum kit, all stacked up all of which you recognized immediately. And I mean, we asked him through his assistant, Mike O'Donnell, we asked him, can we use this room to record drums? Because it had a great ambient sound for Jerry's drums. And so he said, yeah, go ahead. And when we went in there and I saw all this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, there's collarless suits and Sergeant Pepper outfits and
wild.
You recognized every kid at drums. They were fairly dusty at that time. He wasn't into kind of nostalgia that period of his life at all. Yeah. He was actually just on the brink of doing the Thomas the Tank Engine narrative, or being the narrator.
I remember that very well. Yeah,
the conductor. He was on the brink of just starting that, and so this was kind of eating up space. But boy, the drums sounded great in there. So if you hear Jerry's Marotta's drums on that record, that's the
room. That's that
room. That's the room. So that's the door to it. It's the Hey Jude album cover.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of another great thing I like to mention about that, and I never get a chance to very often, is when we would arrive every day. It was right next door to a pub, but there were all kinds of signs saying, and this is understandable. It's pre-internet. You're in a different age, but basically, do not come on this property. You are not welcome here. There are it didn't say guard dogs are loose, all of which was true. Okay. And the main dog, his name was Leo. He was a German Shepherd. And you could not make friends with Leo, no matter how hard you tried. This dog was so well trained. It was like he knew exactly who he was looking out for and who he was not. So he had to be put into his pen every day when we would arrive. You'd have to call from the pub next door and say, okay, we're here. And then Mike would call the dog into his pen. But in the little walk getting to the studio, there was this area, very whimsical area. It was like a little bit of a Wizard of Oz thing. This very whimsical area called the Wibbly Wobbly Way. And it was intentionally built with this kind of winding path with two old brick walls. And you'd walk along there. And as I'd be walking there were other buildings. And Zach Starkey, at that time he would have been 18, I would hear him practicing every day. And I got there in February, left in June. And I actually, over that 5 months, just hearing him practice every day, I actually heard his marked improvement every month.
Wow.
Very evident. And you could tell, it was like, I could tell, this guy's going to be a drummer. He's got it all, forget about who his dad is. He's got a great feel. If it weren't for the fact that I have Jerry Marotta here, I might ask him to play on a song.
That'd have been wild.
But he was only 18 at the time, and I spoke to him very briefly, but I said, I did say to him, I like hearing you every day when I arrive. And at the time, he seemed a bit shy about that, like people can hear me. And then years later, I see him, I go and see The Who, and there he is. And what a great
drummer. The Who, Oasis. I mean, he really is a great, and he's his own.
I love Oasis as well. Oh God, yeah, I love that. Don't. Oh shit, what's the album?
Oh, they have a whole. Don't look back in anger. I think it is.
It could be that. Yeah.
It could be that one, but Wonderwall. I mean, he was touring with them. I mean, really great drummer all around. And the weird thing in him being in The Who, which Keith Moon was, Ringo's closest friend, and he, which is
another one I read. I don't know if this is. I can't verify this. I never got a chance to ask him, but years later I read that Zach's first drum kit came from Keith. Keith Moon gave him his first drum kit.
I think
so. It's almost like, it's like, in our world where we take this stuff very seriously, it's almost like divine providence. It's like, you give a drum kit to him, then you're going to exit the planet at this point, and then he's going to become the drummer of that band. I mean, wow.
Totally. I think the record you made there, I think you had the magic, the Beatle magic. The gods were looking at you, down on you, and they put in it that. Definitely. You know, and it's still going. The magic is still going. You get to do it with Styx now.
I do. Yeah, I do. I've been extremely fortunate for, when young musicians, I hate when they ask for any sort of advice, because they're the only advice I can ever give, and is basically just fall in love with music and see where it takes you. But, there's a luck factor in there as well. No matter how good you are.
Yeah, there is. The internet is buffering right now. Are you still with me, Lawerence? Are you still there? Hold on one second, Lawerence. I think the internet over here is buffering us a little bit. Hold on, bear with me. Let's see if we got this over here. 1 second there, Lawerence. See if it's my internet. Okay.
Are you back?
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second.
Are you back?
I'm back, but you're Mr. Roboto right now. You're sounding. Hold on one. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. I lost you. I lost Lawerence, everybody. All right. Well, you know what? That's Lawerence Gowan. Styx. We're having a great conversation. Wonderful guy. Maybe he's frozen. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Zandra, Deb Jackson, good to see all you people here. He froze up. I hope it wasn't me, but let me see your comments. Let me type to you guys if you could see me. Hi. Was it me? Was it me or him? That's the question. Let me know in the chat over there, buddy. Okay. Let's see if he'll pop back on here. Nice guy, really nice guy, great interview. But in the meantime, you know what? Let's keep it rolling right here. And while we're rolling and recording, I will do a proper intro. So hold on. Right, put the glasses on. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's do a proper intro. Maybe he'll come back. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna do one. 3, 2, 1. Welcome. You're an artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And in the hot seat tonight, Lawerence Gowan of Styx. He's on tour right now. Styx is out with Loverboy, REO Speedwagon. Links will be in the description down below. Click on it if you want to see what they're playing. Check it out. And let's see if he comes back. I'll do that over. Okay. 3, 2, 1. You're an artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And who's in the hot seat tonight? Lawerence Gowan of Styx. He's in the hot seat. He's going to talk about recording at John Lennon's house. You're not going to want to miss this one. It all starts now. Bam. 3, 2, 1. Tonight we have Lawerence Gowan of Styx. He's going to talk about recording at John Lennon's house, being on tour with Styx right now with Loverboy and REO Speedwagon. If you want to catch them, links are in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell to be reminded when we're coming on. Now put your hands together for Mr. Gowan of Styx. Bam. All righty. All righty. So that's that. All right. Sandra, most of it, but what I saw was great. I think it was him. Deb Jackson says, all righty. Well, I'm glad you guys were here. Tonight, I got Bob Daisley coming on, and I'm thinking I might just make that a Patreon show. And I think that is tonight. Let me tell you guys the time, what time that is coming on. Bob Daisley. See. Have Bob. Sure. Okay. Let me do another intro. Quick one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam. You're an artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And tonight, who do we have in the hot seat of Styx? Mr. Lawerence Gowan. He's in the hot seat. He's going to talk about Styx being on tour with REO Speedwagon and Loverboy, and also recording at John Lennon's house. It all happens now. Don't touch that dial. Bam. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Stefan ADIKA. Put your hands together for Mr. Lawerence Gowan of Styx. But before we go there, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be reminded, because you don't want to miss any other episodes that are coming up here. Now, get it together, people. Fix your wigs, get your life together. Mr. Lawerence Gowan of Styx. It all starts now. Bam. All righty. That was Mr. Lawerence Gowan of Styx. And I want to thank you for all being in the chat. Make sure you put your comments down below, subscribe, hit the bell to be reminded, and share it with a friend. Until then, everybody, it's only rock and roll, and we like it. Who loves you, baby? We do. Now get out of here, you crazy kids. Bam. Okay, Zandra is in the chat. Let's see who's in the chat also. Zandra, I'll be seeing Todd Kearns, but we'll definitely be checking out the Bob interview. Yeah, the Bob, he doesn't come on camera, everybody. So just to let you know, he's in Australia. Hopefully the internet gods are okay. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Patreon show or not. I'd like to make it live where people could ask questions. The problem is his internet could be a little dodgy because of Australia. So if it's a little flaky and dodgy, it's not me. But we'll try to make it work tonight. I'll decide and think about what we're doing. Thank you, Zandra. Great job, Stefan. Thank you guys for being a part of here. Debbie Mola just got here. Debbie, mwah, it's good to see my girls here. Well, Lawerence was just here, but we lost him, and he had a little bad internet problems, but it was a good interview. I got a lot of good stuff out of him, and I will text his tour. We talked about John Lennon. He recorded at John Lennon's estate, one of his records before he joined Styx in 1984. That's what we were talking about. It was at Tittenhurst Park in England, and it's where John Lennon recorded Imagine. So I'll be editing this out and making it all good for you people. Let me do one more intro before. I wanted to talk about Ronnie Hawkins, which I didn't get to, which I'm bummed out about. Ronnie Hawkins was also, oh, wait, hold on. Lawerence is back. Good. There he is. Coming back in the hot seat. Let's see. Okay, you hear me, Lawerence? One, two, 1, 2. Let's see if we got there. His camera is off. Ask to start video. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's go now, chat. Can you hear me? Put this up there. Okay, can you hear me? I just typed in the chat, Lawerence. You could type in the chat. I got your screen, but we don't have your chat. There you are. Lawerence is connecting. He's on the phone. Looking very serious. Got you right now. I think we might have, you know what, Lawerence? I think the internet on your end is a little dodgy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me walk to for a second. I think we should perhaps continue this. We can, because it's stable in this hotel. Are you hearing
me? The whole, you know what, Lawerence? We could do a part 2. I would love to, because there's more questions I wanted to talk to you about, because you're coming in and out, and I don't want to.
And you keep your image keeps freezing as well. So let's go to let's use another call, and we'll pick it up and do a part 2.
I would love to do a part 2. It was actually really great talking with you, and a lot of great history you got going on. And I hope I made you smile.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good. Well, Lawerence, we'll do a part 2.
Enough so that I want to go.
Yeah, because you're coming in dodgy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to your people.
I'll enter. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Hey, in the meantime, if you could hear me, have a
great
great show. All righty. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Okay, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
All right, everybody, Mr. Lawerence Gowan, very nice guy. All right, we're going to do another intro right now. Ready? Check it out. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. I am Stefan ADIKA. You're on Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And who's in the hot seat tonight? Mr. Lawerence Gowan of Styx. He's going to talk about his current tour, Styx, being out with REO Speedwagon, Loverboy, and also his album Criminal Mind, which he recorded at John Lennon's house in England. And we're going to talk all about that great stuff and much, much more. Don't touch that dial. Subscribe, hit the bell to be reminded when we come on, because you're not going to miss when we come on. We're so great and fabulous. It all starts now. Bam. All righty. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. And I love you guys. I love you being in the Patreon. We got, a new Patreon person just joined too. Let me give her a shout out. Hold on one second. Hold on. This is fun. I got a new Patreon. We got a new fan, somebody new to the club. So let's give them a big shout out over here. Margaret McKenzie, welcome to the family. You joined. We love you. Thank you for being here. Very nice. And I want to thank all my other great Patreons over here. Deb Jackson, Deb Mola, Zandra, thank you all for being here. Love you guys. And thank you all for being there for me. These last couple of weeks, your love and support really means a lot to me. And what can I say? You know what? We go through things in life, but honestly, when you have some good people in your pocket, which is you people, thank you for being there for me. I truly appreciate that. And you know what? This channel is going to get better and better and better. I'm going to try to find the best guests for you. And I'm going to try to make the best show for you. You know why? I have an obligation, and it's to you guys. So thank you for being here. I love you guys. I truly do from the bottom of my heart. I am going to right now get going. Brooklyn has a parade, and I got to go check that out. Tonight, please, 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 if you could be there, hopefully we don't have bad internet. We're going to have Bob Daisley, legendary bass player for Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. He was the band who did Diary of a Madman. He was in the band with Lee Kerslake, Randy Rhoads. Well, he wrote those songs. And tonight he's coming on live, and I'm deciding whether it's going to be in Patreon or just do it, just roll with it, let it go. But Bob's a nice guy, and we're going to have a talk with him and with you guys. So I want you in the chat. If you have any questions for Bob, we'll make sure your questions are heard. I'll see you later. And I love you guys. I truly do. And just remember, you tell your other YouTube friends out there that no matter how good they are, then I'm better. All right. I still got to be cocky. That's the way it has to be. I love you guys. I'll see you later. And hey, Marge, thanks for joining Patreon. Until then, everybody, we are out of here, kids. Mwah. Who loves you, baby? We do. And I definitely love you. Bye.